The good news continues to flood in for Tottenham as Alistair Gold has today reported in the last 20 or so minutes that Tottenham are expected to make a move for Eintracht Frankfurt left wing back Filip Kostic, who a lot of Spurs fans have identified as a brilliant target for Spurs going into the new season. But that's not all. Alistair Gold has also reported that Tottenham and Daniel Levy are so confident that Antonio Conte is happy with the plans for the future that Levy will not be travelling to Italy to meet with Conte. Instead, it will be just Fabio Paratici going on that meeting, and it will be solely looking at transfers and who the club want to bring in. So Daniel Levy feels as though he has done enough to convince Antonio Conte to stay at Tottenham beyond this summer. So we're going to read that article from Alistair Gold. We're also going to look at an update on Fraser Forster, who is having his medical at Hotspur Way today, and also looking at a report from The Athletic that says there's potentially more investment coming in Tottenham as the club look to upgrade their infrastructure. Before we dive into all of that, if you are new to the channel, please do make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for loads of transfer news in the upcoming summer. We had almost 250 new subscribers yesterday in the wake of that brilliant news from Tottenham. So please, if we can keep that record going, we'll hit our targets in no time. Make sure to like the stream as well and all that good stuff if you haven't already. And look, let's dive into this report from Alistair Gold titled Daniel Levy makes decision on Antonio Conte meeting as Harry Kane plans his Tottenham future. So Alistair Gold starts and says that Tottenham are confident enough about Antonio Conte's happiness with their plans for next season that Daniel Levy will not be attending the upcoming meeting with the head coach, while Harry Kane is also excited about the club's path. Football.London understands. Look, that's a line that Spurs fans would have bitten your hand off for. That's all we've been waiting for. That's the headline. That's the paragraph. That's the confirmation that we have been waiting for so long, and it's finally come from Alistair Gold. He goes on, Conte has spoken repeatedly about meeting with Levy and Spurs managing director of football Fabio Paratici at the end of the season to ensure his way and the club's are the same. The Italian has parted company with other big clubs in the past over a difference in views about the way forward, and the 52-year-old had hinted this season that he would do the same once again if he felt Tottenham did not share his vision. And that report, the statement that came out from Spurs yesterday, I was very interested in the language that they used, and a word they used repeatedly was ambition. And that's the word that Antonio Conte has used. That's what he's wanted from the club. You know, Conte has such self-ambition, has such high expectations and ambitions for what he wants to achieve. He needed the club to be the same. He needed the club to mirror that ambition, and that they're using that word, and they do seem to be sharing the vision that Conte has. However, Football.London understands that in the wake of Spurs' £150 million cash injection from owners ENIC, the bulk of which will go on transfers this summer, allied to funds recouped from player sales, the club's hierarchy are confident that Conte is happy with the club's ambition, there it is again, and plans for the coming transfer window and next season. So the club, Daniel Levy, confident that Conte is happy. That is demonstrated by the fact that Paratici and Conte are set to meet in Italy without Levy for talks that will be centred around transfer targets and the players the head coach wants, rather than the club having any concerns at this point about his future. And the idea of Paratici and Conte sitting down somewhere in a sunny city in Italy with £150 million at their disposal to plan transfers for Spurs is absolutely incredible, and hopefully we reap the full benefits of that. Bolstered by their new funds and their projected Champions League revenue, Tottenham are set to go big in the summer transfer window and back Conte fully, with Paratici preparing to assemble a team that can win silverware next season and compete with the top clubs. Conte is believed to want at least 6 new signings to improve his squad, and Paratici is looking to get the most out of the summer window by combining major signings with clever deals for players in the final years of their contracts and free transfers. And one player who fits that profile is Filip Kostic. So Gold says Spurs will move quickly to start bringing those players in and are expected to make a move for Eintracht Frankfurt's 29-year-old left wing-back Filip Kostic, who is in the last year of his contract, while goalkeeper Fraser Forster is expected to complete a free transfer to the club as backup to Hugo Lloris and become the first of many signings this summer. So on Filip Kostic, 29-year-old left wing-back, incredible footballer. Won the Europa League this season with Eintracht Frankfurt, and HG from the Cheese Room podcast, who is a big Frankfurt fan, has been speaking about him, and the praise that he's given that man is endless. And I know so many Tottenham fans feel the same. And Kostic fits the profile of player that Spurs are looking for. You know, he's in the prime of his career. We're not looking for those young players that we can improve anymore. We're looking for players who are ready for the now. And Filip Kostic is a wing back who I think previously has played as a left winger. So he does have that experience of playing as a more advanced player, which is really what we want the left wing back at Tottenham to be doing. And Reguilon just hasn't cut it this season. The end product isn't there. I think he needs to be moved on. Sessegnon has stepped up and has been fantastic for us, but he's not a reliable first team option because of the injury record he has. But Filip Kostic has done it with Serbia. He's done it with Frankfurt, and hopefully Tottenham can get this deal done. There are reports saying that he could be available for as low as £12 million, which would be an absolute steal for Spurs. It would be an absolute steal. I was going to take a look at some of his some of the stats to get the numbers, and he's brilliant. His goals and assist numbers are really, really impressive for left wing back, and that's exactly what we need, because those positions are so important in an Antonio Conte system, and the players that we have, like I said, at the moment just haven't really been able to do that, and we need to address that probably most urgently in this window. I think we'd previously identified the left centre back position as the one that needed to be addressed as soon as the window opened. I'm not sure there's that much urgency in there at the moment, but if we are going to go and get Alessandro Bastoni in that position, let's get that sorted as soon as we can. So for his standard stats, so these are compared. So Filip Kostic compared to other fullbacks in the top 5 European leagues and European competitions over the last 365 days. Ben Kaufman, member for 10 months. Absolutely incredible, Ben. Thank you so much. It's Maddie Hayes. I love it, Ben. Thanks a million. Thank you so much for tuning in. So Filip Kostic, compared to other fullbacks for this time, he has 0.17 goals per 90, which is in the top 4%. He's 0.34 assists per 90, which is in the top 1% of wingbacks, of fullbacks in this position. He's also in the top 10% for non-penalty goals, penalty kicks made and attempted, expected goals, non-penalty expected goals, expected assists, and non-penalty expected goals and expected assists combined. So that end product, he's in the top 1% for expected assists, 0.32 per 90. So with that 0.34 of actual assists, he's overperforming in those numbers as well. So this end product that we are crying out for, this is a man that can provide that, and he's potentially coming in for so cheap with just 1 year left on his contract. So we're looking at goals, shots. He averages 2.04 shots per 90, 0.64 shots on target per 90. So both of those in the top 1%. So just proving how effective he is going forward and how prominent he is going forward as well. David says Maddie's on fire with the streams lately. Look, I picked the perfect week to take off work, the absolute perfect week, so we could sit and reel from all this news that is coming in. Kostic is also a free kick taker, so he's 0.29 shots from free kicks per 90, which is up there in the top 2%. So if we need a dead ball specialist, we absolutely need a free kick taker at the moment, and Kostic could be the man to maybe convince Harry Kane to step away from that side of the game. Passing, not the best, doesn't complete too many passes per 90. Attempts a lot more than he completes, to be honest. Trying to find the crossing stats here. Wow. Okay, so expected assists, key passes 2.8 per 90, which is in the top 1%. He's top 3% for passes into the penalty area and crosses into the penalty area, so 1.55 crosses per 90 into the area. These numbers are they're actually incredible. So he's in the top 2% as well for dead ball passes, switches of play, which has been huge for Spurs, and it's typically Harry Kane that does that for us, but we overload on the right hand side, Emerson, Kulusevski, Romero, Bentancur, Kane, whoever it is, and allow that space for Reguilon on the other side, staying really, really wide so we can pick that switch of play. And it's happened a couple of times. There was a game where he missed a couple of chances. I forget who it was against, but he had 2 or 3 switches from Harry Kane out to that side, and he missed those chances. If we're going to be switching that to Kostic, he's good in front of goal. He's brilliant at driving that ball low and hard across the face into the far corner. But if we're also going to have the ball on the left-hand side and want to switch it out to the right, well, Kostic can do that as well. So he averages 3.66 switches per 90, which is in the 98th percentile. So really good numbers there. 7 crosses per 90, outrageous. Takes corners as well. We need a corner taker. He's good at that. He takes every box that Tottenham are lacking at the moment. Just one more. 4.1 shot creating actions per 90. So again, he's up in the top 5% for shot creating actions per 90, for goal creating actions, for and this is from open play or from dead ball situations as well. Defensively, leaves a lot to be desired. Not gonna kill anybody. He does leave a lot to be desired defensively. ranks really, really low for tackles won, dribblers tackled. He's high for dribblers contested, so he does put himself in those situations. It's not as though he's he's shying away from the defensive side of the game. He does put himself in those areas, but with very little success. It has to be mentioned. Pressures per 90 in and around the average. Not many blocks, not many interceptions, not many tackles, not many clearances. So that's a side of his game that would massively need to be improved. And like I said, I'm pretty sure he started his career and played a long time as a much more advanced player, as an out and out left winger. So that development of the defensive side of his game has been lacking, and he hasn't really needed to do that. With Frankfurt, again, playing extremely progressive as a left wing back, but we will need to work on that defensive side of his game. I think it's something that Reguilon and Sessegnon do lack as well. Sessegnon massively improved in that regard towards the last month or two of the season, but Kostic isn't a perfect signing because he does lack in that defensive area. But going forward, where we need him the most, absolutely immense. Absolutely immense. He's heavily involved in games as well with a lot of touches. He likes to carry the ball. He's ranking really well for progressive carrying distance, progressive carries per 90, carries into the penalty area, progressive passes received as well. So this is it's a very exciting signing. Just looking at players that he's actually compared to similar players, Reece James is ranked second there, so he's very similar to Reece James, and interestingly similar to Yannick Carrasco and Ivan Perisic, who are two players that we've been linked with in the last week or so as well. So Filip Kostic, potentially a brilliant signing for Spurs. And again, to reiterate, Alistair Gold has said Tottenham are expected to make a move for Frankfurt's left wing back Filip Kostic, who was in the last year of his contract. Just to run through the rest of that article, Gold continues to say that both Conte and Paratici are also big fans, as we know, of Inter Milan's 23-year-old centre-back Alessandro Bastoni, who has reached the last 2 years of his contract. Again, I feel this is a move that will happen quickly. We have £150 million available. He's our main target for left centre-back. Left centre-back is our priority position, and according to a few reports out of Italy, Inter Milan could be willing to sacrifice him to help their financial issues. So I'm not saying it's done, but I really do feel as though it will be. Ben Kaufman says, if we can get Kostic for 20 million, rip their hands off. Absolutely. And it could be as low as 12 million. This will be a very, very low fee because he only has a year left in his contract. Chen, thank you for subscribing. So this could be an absolute steal from Spurs. And one man who's excited about the direction of Spurs, the direction Spurs are heading in, is striker Harry Kane. Various people within the England captain's camp have told Football.London that the 28-year-old believes that with Conte being backed with this increase in funds, his dream of winning a trophy with Tottenham can be realised. The forward considered his future last summer, as we know all too well, as he's understood to have been worried the club was lacking in ambition, but he has been wowed by Conte since his arrival in November and is impressed by the plans for next season. Kane currently is solely focused on playing and winning things for Spurs next season. He's on to say he wants to break Jimmy Greaves' record as well. So this is very exciting news for Spurs. Very exciting indeed. And like I tweeted, I think we expected this. We expected Conte to be happy. We expected Kane to be happy when this additional investment came in yesterday. We expected it, but it's still so nice to get that confirmation and to get those initial reports starting to flow through that this is actually the case. And with Antonio Conte not even going to Italy to have this meeting or with Daniel Levy not going to Italy to have the meeting with Conte, that shows how confident he is. It's Paratici going over solely to discuss transfers, according to Alistair Gold, and that shows where everyone's mind is at. That shows where everyone wants to be next season. I think I said it on David's stream yesterday, the Irish Hotspur, that Conte heading, as soon as the last game of the season was played, he headed off on holiday. He went to Italy to enjoy his time off. I don't think he would have done that if he didn't have his future set. I don't think he can go and fully relax and enjoy his time off if he was then coming back to an uncertain, unpredictable situation where he didn't know if he was going to have a job in 4 weeks time. I think Conte was happy. He probably knew that investment was coming. I think he was happy before he ever headed off to Italy. Bobby says, Matt, what's your thoughts on Pau Torres? I've been pretty vocal within the community saying I really don't think he's that good. Liverpool highlighted his weaknesses very well. Look, Liverpool did highlight his weaknesses, but as I've said with Torres, he's probably a very good backup option if we can't get Bastoni, but he also showed a lot of his strengths in that game, and I think he also showed why clubs are targeting him and why we had agreed a deal to sign him last year before he opted to stay and play Champions League with his boyhood club. He's very, very confident in possession, extremely confident and extremely competent as well. He's really good at passing that ball out from the back. He doesn't panic under pressure. He has, so that old cliche, he has an extra second on the ball because he doesn't mind being pressed and harried in a way that Liverpool did. He was good in the air. He was physical. He was getting involved. His weaknesses were highlighted, and I said that as well. But it takes a lot to adapt to the Premier League. You know, you can't come in from La Liga and immediately be fantastic in the Premier League. Even Varane had a bit of a time where he needed to get used to it. So for Torres, aside from United last year in the Europa League final when they didn't really play all that well, it's possibly the first time he's really been put up against that. And you have to remember as well that it's it's Liverpool. It's one of the best teams in the world that he was playing against. So the weaknesses were highlighted, the few concerns that we would have were there, but with the way Conte can develop centre-backs like he did with Ben Davis, if that performance from Pau Torres is the baseline of what he can do, only 25 years of age, there's still development to go there. If that's the baseline that Conte is then going to build on, I think it's a brilliant option. I think he's a brilliant signing. But as I've been saying for definitely over a year now, Alessandro Bastoni is the option ahead of that. He's the best option, and I'd rather get that. But Torres as a backup option, I'm quite happy to have that there. Killian Kenny, good to see you, my friend. As Alpha T says, everyone do smash that like button down below, please. It really helps us out on these streams when you hit that like button. But yeah, look, I don't want to stay on for too long because we've got through the majority of what we had. George Bannister has said on Filip Kostic that Spurs are confident on preliminary discussions. There is a bit to go though, so people say in the media that's a bad sign. So Filip Kostic, that is Spurs confident on preliminary discussions. Tottenham Tiers. By the way, anyone, if you need a place other than on YouTube to track all the Spurs headlines, Tottenham Tiers at Tottenham Tiers TIERS on Twitter, absolutely incredible page. I'm a massive fan of it, so please go and follow that there. They've tweeted there, Filip Kostic in Europe's top 5 leagues in 2021, the most crosses, the most chances created, the most big chances created, the most expected assists, the second most open play chances created, and the second most assists provided, and that is from left wing back. So Kostic is a very, very exciting link. And as we say, Alistair Gold said that Tottenham are confident, or Tottenham are expected to make a move for him soon, as we're expected to make a move for a number of players. I think Paratici has deals lined up to go and have these discussions with Conte, pick the players they want, and just trigger those deals, because Conte wants everything done before we travel to Korea, which I think is in the middle of July. So he wants all this done over the next 5 or 6 weeks. If any man is going to be able to do that, it's Fabio Paratici. And with deals like this, with Kostic potentially for 12 million, Fraser Forster for free, if we're going to get Ivan Perisic, that would be a free as well. There's a lot of money there to spend on the likes of Alessandro Bastoni, on a centre midfielder, on a striker who could be Gabriel Jesus. Yassine says, if we get 6 or 7 players in and then get some out and replace them, surely we're going to challenge for the title. Look, I personally think, I've said it a lot, that it's unfortunate that this has come for Spurs when City and Liverpool are just the best teams ever. You know, I don't think next season we're going to be at a level where we can compete with that. But my God, I'll be happy if we did. So let's wait and see how it pans out. But we're definitely going a positive way. We're definitely going positively. And as Alistair Gold said when he tweeted this out, he's like, do you want more good Spurs news? Because it is just flowing at the moment. It is coming in absolute volume, and hopefully there's going to be a lot more over the next couple of days. So I'm off work for the rest of this week until Saturday, so I'm hoping we have a lot to talk about, hoping we have confirmation of Fraser Forster and a little bit more to discuss for the rest of this week too. So please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Like I said, incredible numbers yesterday. We got over 250 new subscribers. We surpassed 13k and we're already approaching 13.2k. So please, if you want to be part of this brilliant community, hit that button down below and hit that notification bell as well, so you get notified whenever we upload or go live. Hopefully, as I said again, with news on Kostic, Bastoni, Jesus, and a number of other players. But for now, from me, as always, thank you so much for watching.